everyone. Welcome to episode 16 of Musical Reflections of a Slightly Conscious Being. I'm Sandra, a music artist that is on a journey towards consciousness. And today I'm going to share a very, very, very special song. I wish Hambo was here because it's my very first medley. It's actually a mix between, not a mix, but it was 3 songs put together that I felt they made sense like this. They kind of tell a story and a journey. They were written about the same theme, but in different stages and in different timings. And the title of the song is Another Reality, but it's actually 3 songs put together. I'll talk more about that. And today I'll be talking about a theme that I've been very, very passionate about since April last year. That is called Living. Well, the book is not called this, but the theme I have for you guys today is Living in the Here and Now. So on the last episode, episode 15, I talked about the 2 extreme patterns related to change and how to be aware of them, right? Some people are stuck in the need of permanent change. Some people are stuck in a fear of change, so they end up settling for very, very quickly, and they are very afraid to change. Of course, as everything in life, the balance is in the middle, the trick is in the balance and to recognize when you're falling in one of these patterns. But today, in this very, very last episode, I wanted to share with you not only this theme about living in the here and now, but of course also this very, very special song. The first part you already heard on episode 13, which is called Mended Hearts. And today I'll be sharing the other 2 parts. So today you'll get to listen to the complete demo. And the other 2 parts are called Another Reality and Right Here, Right Now with You. The theme of the song is Another Reality. And I'm really excited to share with you guys. It's I've never done anything like this before, but I wanted to challenge myself to do something different, just like I did on this podcast, live streamings, whatever. And that's why I wanted to finish with something different for you guys. So let's do this. This is called Another Reality.
Another reality.
another reality that's actually 3 songs put together to make, more full song. So there you go. It's different from usually what I do, but I really like it. And my favorite is the last part. I have to confess. It's usually we have a favorite, and right now it's the last part. So thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. Glad you like it. Thank you for being here, even though you're working. Thank you for being here and to listen to the song. 3 songs into 1, right? Yeah, John. Okay, so what happened? I closed my script. Why did I? Okay, I just opened it again. All right, so there you go. So that is my song, Another Reality. It's a mashup of 3 different songs. And let's start with the lyrics. So on this episode, I will mostly focus on the message of the part 3 of the song, even though I will talk a bit about part 2 as well. First part, if you want to, first part I already talked on episode 13, so I won't dwell a lot into it. I'll just say something about it and then we'll move on, okay? But let's just start with the lyrics. So the first part is, so this is what real love feels like. So understanding and so kind. So simple and yet so right. Thank you for helping me realize that all I've been through before, years of pain, resentment, and more, 2 black holes sucking each other dry. That's not love, it's just a tragic sight. But you have to know the shadow to recognize the light that comes from deep inside. I see it reflected in your loving eyes, 2 minute hearts that now shine bright. And then we have the second part. Everything feels so easy when I am with you. Tell me, is this true? Because if it is just a dream, I don't ever want to wake up. Just let me sleep in your loving arms. That's where I find my peace. Another reality, that's what this is for me. I still can't believe. And then we have the third part. I don't care what happens. I just want to experience this. I'm so grateful for the things you do. I just want to be right here, right now with you. I don't care what happened before. I just want to be right here, right now with you. And I don't mind where you've been before. I just want to be right here, right now with you. Thank you for all you make me feel. Thank you for loving me like you do. I hope you let me love you too and allow me to stay right here, right now with you. So there you go, guys. So like I was saying, this is a very special song to me. Not only for being a challenge and for being 3 songs put together, which is something that I've never done before. I already had shared and talked about the first part on episode 13. And like I said, back then, that first part was written actually when I was still alone. But I wrote it as I was already with someone. And it was how I envisioned what I wanted to experience with someone. And it's interesting that to think that 1 month later, it actually became a reality. And that's when the second part was written. And the third part was written after we were together for 2 months. So something I noticed right away when I began to mention that I was with someone, to my friends and even to my family, was the tendency that we have to create expectations. And I say we because I do that too. I do feel like I am more aware that I do it, but I also do it. I also catch myself doing it. But one sentence that I mostly heard when I was mentioning that I was seeing someone was, "Oh, I hope it works out. I hope it goes out okay," or things like that. And it's interesting that there's nothing wrong with that, but people, when they are saying that, they are focusing in the future, right? On how long it will last, or if it would last. Like longevity was, or even only is the most important thing to think about. And I remember when people were saying that, because I was already very aware of that and I was focusing a lot in the moment. And I remember thinking, like, it is working out now. Like, isn't that what really matters? The present. And so and I even said that to some people that were saying that. And truth is, looking back now, when I was single and I was meeting people, I didn't meet many people, but the people I met, I mean, when I was meeting people or when I was dating, I didn't even know what I was looking for in terms of a relationship. Like, I didn't have all those criteria. Like, I knew what I valued and what I value in a person and on a relationship. I definitely knew what I didn't want, taking in consideration my past experience. But that was pretty much it. Like, looking back now, I think that was that approach that allowed me to keep not only an open mind, but also an open heart. And it was also that approach and that perspective that allowed me to fall in love once again and to experience all those amazing feelings that I haven't felt in such a long time. Being on a long relationship, like the last time I ever fell in love, I was 18 and I'm 36. Like, it's a big difference. It's a big gap, like more than half of my life. Or so it was this perspective of, like, do not put too much pressure, don't expect too much, or don't be worrying about the future or the past or whatever, just live in the moment. Was that allowed me to fall in love again and to have all these feelings again. And, especially when I wrote the second part of this song, I was kind of feeling like a stupid teenager in love. And I do feel like it's still that approach that allows me to really appreciate everything that I have going on in my life right now. And of course, now I'm talking about specifically on this song, I'm talking about the relationship I'm in right now. But it's not only that, it's really appreciating everything that's happening in my life right now. And this journey of appreciating the moment and living the moment and not focusing too much in the past or in the future, it started in April last year. So April last year, I had a really good friend of mine that recommended me a book called The Power of Now. And I've talked about this book. It's by Eckhart Tolle. He's a spiritual teacher and author, and I really like him and appreciate him and value him for everything he does. He also does YouTube short videos, like 15-minute videos. If you're interested, you can watch it. You can watch them for free, and you can get a feeling of what he talks about. I have to say it was and it is one of the most transformative books that I've ever read. It's a lot thanks to this book that back then in April, when I was in a really dark place, and I managed to identify some of my most crucial and painful unconscious patterns that were consuming my life back then, and ultimately step out of the loop and move on. So what happened, and we're talking April, we are in January, so this happened almost 1 year ago. And I've talked about this on other episodes. What happened was, even though I was out of the relationship, it's like my mind was keeping the relationship alive by constantly dwelling on it. I have a very, very good memory for my past. I remember many, many, many things. I have many, many memories from my past. It's something that it's kind of genetic. My dad is like that as well. My dad is a storyteller, and he can talk about things about his past. Like, he remembers a lot from his past and all the details. And I inherited that. And even though it can be a really powerful thing, and very helpful thing, it can also be very destructive. And what's happening is that I kept reliving and I kept replaying situations and memories and arguments. And basically, what I was doing was keeping all those emotions alive by dwelling in the past. So when I read that book, it suddenly became very clear, right? In the very first, I don't know, I've read like 4 pages of the book, and it suddenly, there were some things that it was clear. It was like I had an aha moment. Oh my gosh, this is what I'm doing to myself. And that's why I'm not moving on. And that's why I still feel so sad as the day I left. And that's why I'm stuck. Okay, so this is what I have to practice. This is what I have to do differently. I mean, I have to stop paying so much attention to the past and focusing on the present moment. So that's when I began to practice awareness in present moment, which is basically the same thing as the living in the here and now. To practice being able to stop my thoughts, not only during meditation, because I've been doing meditation for 7-8 years. I started doing meditation back when I was 30, when I was going through depression. Especially when I started working as a musician, it was a very painful growth process to me, totally necessary. But it was also very, very challenging, especially taking in consideration other traumas of mine. And meditation was what helped me. Back then I had panic attacks. And meditation was what allowed me to stop that, I haven't had a panic attack for 7 years. And it was all thanks to meditation, because I was always, and I'm very much against medication. I do feel any form of medication is treating the symptoms, but it doesn't treat the cause. So what happens when you start taking medication, you get addicted to medication, and you're just covering up the effects, but you're covering the symptoms, but you're not actually treating what's wrong with you. And so meditation was what allowed me to to go to the root to the problem. And the root of the problem was that I was overthinking. So basically, I was doing the same thing. What I was doing with my job back when I was 30 was I stopped doing that, but I kept doing that about my past relationship. And so it was basically a matter of rediscovering, of relearning something, of remembering something that I've learned before, but not only practicing it during meditation, also on my everyday life. And that's where it's hard, because and I know many people, I have some friends that are very spiritual, and they even, all they do as a job, they are healers, spiritual healers, sometimes body healers, doesn't matter. And they all struggle with this because, okay, we meditate and we can find our peace and our balance and stop our thoughts while we are meditating. But then we are back to the real world. We are back to the practical world, and our minds start working overclock and start dominating our lives, just like meditation doesn't matter. So the challenge is basically doing meditation while you're actually doing other things. So basically, how you do that, and there are many ways you can do this, but basically the purpose and the main goal of this is actually being able to pay 100% of attention to what you are doing when you're doing. So that's how you apply stillness of mind and practice present awareness without doing meditation, like doing your everyday life. And you can do this doing everything, okay? You can be washing the dishes, you can be giving a bath to your dog, doesn't matter. The trick is catch yourself when you start thinking about other things other than what you are doing in the present moment. This happens a lot. We all do it. And most of us, that's called automatic pilot. Like most of us are living our lives in automatic pilot. And that's why sometimes we do silly things like putting our car keys in the refrigerator. I've never done that, but I've met people who've done that. And why do we do these silly things? Or like walking into a room and then, why am I here? I don't remember why I came here. It has happens to everyone. And why does this happen? Because our minds are thinking about things that they shouldn't be thinking. They should be focusing in the moment and what we are doing in the moment. So that's like the challenge. Pay full attention, or at least try to, when you catch yourself thinking about other things other than what you're doing, stop it. Bring back your awareness, your attention to what you're doing. So at first, this is hard. Okay, this is a challenge. That's why it's called a challenge. It's a challenge. It gets easier the more you do it, because our minds are conditioned to think and to work nonstop. That's what happens. And especially, we live in a society that is very fast-paced. There's a lot of information. And so our brains get addicted, our mind gets addicted to work nonstop. So it's really hard to stop them, to slow down the momentum. So it's hard. And what happens is most of the times you are constantly losing the grip. You're constantly thinking, okay, no, I shouldn't be thinking. Don't be too hard on yourself. That happens. It just, the trick is every time you catch yourself thinking about something that is not related to what you're doing right now, you let go of the thought and you bring back your focus to what you're doing. It's still hard for me sometimes. I have better days than others, but the more you practice, that's the good news. The more you practice, like everything in your life, the easier it gets. So there are several ways you can do this. Okay, one of them, like I mentioned, one which is, okay, when you're doing something, focus your attention and your awareness to what you are doing. You can choose to focus on your senses, like what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, or you touch. Don't think about it. And that's the hard part, because usually we tend to interpret what we are feeling, right? But the trick is, don't use words to define it. Catch yourself before defining it, okay? If you're seeing a beautiful sunset, what happens? Like your mind, oh, I love the colors. Stop it. You don't want to put it into words. You just want to be there and you want to see. You can focus on your hearing as well. It can be, well, if you're watching a sunset, probably you are outside, you're hearing noises. So focus on your senses, but don't interpret it. Don't come up with stuff. Don't say, oh, I love this color. Oh, I wish there was more of this color. Don't, oh, I love this color. Which one is my favorite? That's the trick. Catch yourself before putting things into words. Because the focus here is to just see, to just focus on on your senses and not use words. Because the moment you're using words, your mind is working. So you don't want to use your mind. You just want to be focusing on your senses. So every time you have a thought in your head, and you will have them, every time you hear some words in your head, just let go. Focus on the senses again, or feelings if you feel them. But don't label anything. Even if you're feeling something, catch yourself before saying, oh, I'm feeling peace. No words right now. It's really hard if you think about it, because we are so used to use words all the time. So it's really hard. But again, the more you practice, the easier it gets. So other trick that you can do is focus on your breathing or your heart beating. In your heart beating, it can be a bit harder. You might need to put a hand so you can feel your heart beating. The breathing thing is easier because you can always. There are many feelings related to breathing. If you think about it, many senses. You can focus on the movement of your chest. You can focus in the air coming through your nose or your mouth or whatever. So there are many things to focus about on the breathing, and it's a rhythmic pulse. It has a rhythm to it, so it's easy to focus. But again, don't define it. Don't overthink it. Don't think, oh my gosh, I'm breathing too fast. I'm breathing too slow. Don't label it. Just feel it. Just let it go. And that is the challenge. Other thing that's really okay, that's really also really great to do, and I do feel it was one of the things that made the more difference in me. And I'm still practicing it because I still forget it. I forget to do it sometimes, but every time I remember, I try to do it. Is choose to focus when you're talking with someone or someone is talking with you. Choose to focus on them when they're talking to you. Because we have a tendency, and I do this all the time, it's something that I'm still working on. We have a tendency of beginning to think about what we will answer even while the person is talking. And what happens is sometimes we misinterpret, sometimes we don't listen to what the person is saying, and we miss some really important details because our mind is focusing on the answer that we'll be answering as soon as the person stops talking, or sometimes we even interrupt. I do that. It's something that I do that, and it's something that I'm aware that I do, and I'm still working on it. But if you choose to focus on that person completely when the person is talking to you, give them your full attention. Listen to what they are saying without planning your response. You have time, so don't worry about it. Let them talk. And it's amazing the details that you start noticing when you do this. And when someone is talking with you, you start noticing details about that person. Like sometimes there are micro expressions in the face that people use while talking. You can notice sometimes, and I've that happened to me. Notice some difference in the colors in the eyes or even in the hair. When someone is talking, and you get to appreciate people in a different way, actually. And when you do that I was talking about talking with people, when you are observing a sunset or when you are doing a specific task, you start noticing your surroundings, and you start noticing, it's amazing the details that you can see on a sunset, or a cloud, or a building, or even small insect. It doesn't matter. But just give it your full attention without letting your mind pollute whatever you are experiencing. So things that happen is that once you stop your mind from stealing your attention, because that's what your mind is doing, you start appreciating more the simple things that happen to you in the present. Because suddenly they are not so simple. You begin to notice that there are a lot of details about it, but you were just not paying enough attention to appreciate them. So, of course, your thinking mind has a place, okay, and it's necessary. But it's also necessary for us to remember that's not all we have, and that's not all we are. Don't get consumed by it, and don't let it consume you. And try to think of your thinking mind like one more sense. There's touch, smell, taste, hearing, and seeing, and then there's thinking. And there's also feeling, of course. Some people, there's this theory that feelings are actually reactions of your body to your thinking mind. I think that's an interesting theory. Of course, sometimes some of us experience feelings while we are not thinking anything. Some people say that's because some thoughts are unconscious. There are other people that say that trauma is also stored in the body. The body remembers, the cells have memory, and feelings are basically the thoughts of our cells, or reactions of our cells to what we are experiencing. So there are many theories. It doesn't matter what is. All that matters is that you are not what you feel. You are not what you think. You are not what you experience. You are the awareness behind all these senses or feelings or thoughts or whatever. You just have to keep remembering that, especially when you get overwhelmed by one sense or thought or feeling, because that happens a lot. And there are people that are that get overwhelmed with loud noises or specific noises. There are people who get overwhelmed when they are in confined spaces, and that's a trauma that is usually on the body, so they feel it. So the secret is understanding, okay, I am feeling this or I'm thinking that, but I'm not this. I'm feeling this, but I'm not this. And when you do that, there's a separation. And once that separation takes place, you get the control that you need to not react to what you're experiencing, because you stop being 100% identified with that feeling, thought, or sensation, if that makes sense. So, of course, there's a place, and like I say, it's also great to remember your past sometimes. And it's also great to plan your future, of course. And of course, we live our lives, there needs to be a direction, right? Especially thinking about the future, there needs to be a direction. And talking about the past, it's really important to learn with your mistakes. So I look at my past like that. I do have a tendency to dwell, and I have a tendency of overthinking not only the past, but also overthinking the future. And usually there are feelings associated when you dwell in the past. The feelings associated are guilt, resentment, regret. Like sometimes you regret doing something or not doing something. And when you are dwelling in the future, comes anxiety, stress, worry. Because we play this future possible scenarios. And sometimes we even react to these scenarios because truth is, our body cannot distinguish between what's real and what's only in our minds. And this is actually a fact. And that's why we can have reactions to things we know are not real. For instance, movies. Or a series, or we can empathize with things that we know are not real, but we empathize, and that's why our body doesn't know the difference. Of course, we can train our mind, we can train our body to keep in mind that okay, we are experiencing this, but this is not real. Or when you do that, you are bringing back your awareness. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I can watch any kind of movie and still be okay with it. Even really gory movies. And because I can separate myself. I can separate myself. It's really easy for me to do that. And it's something that I've learned. But it's just bringing back your awareness and realize, okay, this is what I'm experiencing right now. But this doesn't define me. I choose not to identify myself with this. And so I bring back the awareness, I bring back the control. So that's how you live in the moment. And how can you define, and this will be the last thing I'll be talking about, because I do feel I really want to talk about this and it's important. So how can you tell when you are learning from your past or dwelling in your past? So if you keep replaying scenarios of your past that happened in the past, if you keep telling yourself the same story over and over again, or if you keep thinking, okay, maybe I should have acted in a different way, this is all dwelling in the past. This is crossing a line. One thing is going to a place and thinking, okay, when that happened, I learned that and I deal with that and those were my feelings. So you apply this. Imagine that you are in the present, you are dealing with a similar situation or a situation that actually requires the learning you did back in the past, and you use it applied to the present. If you do that, you're looking at your past in a constructive way. Same thing about your future. Like if you're thinking about, okay, you have something in the present that you can do that will impact your future. You make the decision. But imagine if this scenario, okay, there's something in the future. There's nothing you can do right now. It's not in your hands. And you're worrying about what will happen or not happen. And you're replaying all these scenarios. Now you're just worrying. If it's not in your hands, if there's nothing you can do, if you already done everything you can, stop worrying with it. Because there's nothing you can do. If there's nothing you can do right now, if it's out in your hands, just keep it out of your hands and out of your mind. So that's basically what you can do to identify when you go too much in the future or too much in the past. Bring your awareness back to the present. And Eckhart does say something that is, I think it's really clever, is that if you think right now, on this moment, on this very minute you're living, what problem do you have? Right in this moment, right? And if you think about it, probably you don't have all those many problems. If you think just about this red hot minute that you're living right now. So it's kind of a good perspective to think about, because it's just we are conditioned to focus so much in our past and in our future and what's coming and worrying and all of that. We are conditioned to live in fear, which doesn't make absolutely no sense. And that's what you should keep in mind when you are practicing this, living in the here and the now. And it's amazing. And of course, you still feel all the feelings. And there's a culture of happiness. You know, people say, oh, be happy, and happiness is a choice, and yada, yada. And we are here to experience all kinds of emotions. And some people say some emotions are negative. Some people say some emotions are positive. Of course, that depends. And that's also rationalizing emotions. So I won't even go there. But truth is, life is made of ups and downs, of good and bad, or positive and negative, happiness and sadness, and all those other emotions in between. And that's okay. What you can get by doing this practice is you get a separation. And with this separation comes this peace. And that's the name. People say this in spiritual practices. They call it a peace that comes, because it's the peace that comes in knowing that you are more than your feelings, you are more than your thoughts, you're more than your emotions. Of course, then there's other theories associated. I won't even go into religion or spirituality. I'm just mentioning everything that I've experienced. And it's impressive how much, and I'm still so thankful to having all these amazing books and authors coming into my life. And I appreciate these people for writing these books, and my friend for recommending me. Well, some other friends recommended me other books, but this one still is, and I've read it since then. I've read it three times. Yes, I've read it 3 times, and I'm thinking that I want to read it again, because I do feel I need a reminder again. So just letting you guys know that this is one. I have to say that book was pretty much the foundation of everything. There were others, but it's still the one that still keeps it. I still feel there's more for me to understand from that book. It's amazing. It's so great. So simple and yet so amazing. And I hope these podcasts and these episodes have helped you in some way. Even if it just made a bit of your life better, I'm already thankful, and it's already worth it for me. And I still don't know what kind of streaming I'll be doing after this, being this the last episode. I want to keep streaming for you guys. I do feel I will have a different format. Still thinking about it. Probably, we still have to do a supporters call this month. Maybe this is something that we can talk about in the call with you guys support my work. I have some ideas, but for now I don't have anything planned yet, and I don't have a date for when I'll be live again. I'll probably take 1 week or 2 off from streaming right now to kind of think about what I want to do next. And see you guys around. Yeah.